So we have a scratch vocal, and we were going to put some more guitar parts down. I think usually after I do a scratch vocal, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody, I throw a little bit of auto-tune on my vocal. Like I mentioned, I'm really big into plugins. I have a plugin problem. If there was a 12-step program for plugins, I would probably be in meetings every day. So I use Antares Autotune. I've owned many of these plugins for many years, and I just keep updating them. This is Autotune 8, I believe, new. It is it's kind of expensive. It's $3.99, but it's worth it. Waves also has a great tuning plugin, but I've used this forever. So I'm just going to go over here to my vocal. I'm going to go to Command Equal, and on the scratch vocal track, I'm going to go here to the insert, and I'm going to insert under harmonic. Is it on harmonic? It's pitch shift. Sorry, pitch shift. Autotune 8. So Autotune comes up, and let me move it over here where you can see it. So now you can hear the delay of this plugin. Interesting. I go here and I say, hey, I'm an alto. How picky do I want it to be? It depends on the song, but pretty much usually I'm kind of in the middle, relaxed like this. And then the other thing is the retune speed. So remember the share effect, how they do that? That's basically just turning this all the way up to being perfect. And that's what made her sound kind of robotic, because nobody sings perfect. Especially not me. So instead of retuning speed, I think it sounds more natural about here. You don't need to choose the key, but pretty much that's all I do. I choose alto. I don't even know if that really makes a difference. And I kind of make my tuning speed a little bit more relaxed. But let me show you. There's a couple spots where I had some wankers. Okay, maybe not wankers. Oh, dear God. Okay, so I think in this chorus. Let it be, let it be. Okay, I think right there was a big mess up. So here is the first chorus, because we're looking at our marker. And let it be, let it be. Okay, so that's with auto-tune. If I bypass it right here and I play, let it be, let it be. I don't know if you can hear that. I can hear that. I'm a stickler for tuning. But I would throw auto-tune on, and I would probably throw a compressor on my vocal. And again, this is a scratch vocal, so it's not that big a deal. But just in case you want your vocals to sound good, even if they're scratch vocals, you would go here to Dynamics. I think everybody has Pro Compressor. And again, I am big on presets. Everybody who says, I create all my sounds from scratch and I just don't like presets, they're full of shit. They probably also, we'll just leave it at that. Presets are awesome. These companies know what they're doing. They get settings from pros. It's a great place to start, and nothing to be ashamed of to use presets. So I'm just going to go here to lead vocal. And again, you can just listen to the difference. It's so subtle that very few people can hear it. So don't feel bad if you can't. All right, I've got a compressor now. Let's listen. Let it be. I'm going to go over here to this part where you can see where it's lower and see how the compressor affected it. And I'm going to kind of bypass the compressor in and out so you can hear. When I find myself, I'm actually going to solo the vocal with the verb. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me. So you can see it's really subtle. It's a little louder in spots. It's maybe a little softer in others. But again, like I say, always just turn the freaking knob until it sounds the way you want it to sound, and it's right. There's no wrong way to do this stuff. Okay, there's the lecture for the day. I think I'm going to have to start a new channel, Pro Tools on a Soapbox. Okay, so I want to do a guitar part. I'm going to take this off because this delay is driving me nuts. And so let me see if I could get rid of this for a minute. Is that better? Check. No. Okay. Anyway, it's the plugins causing me a delay. I'm not even going to think about it right now. So I want to add another guitar part, right? So if we go back to our chart, and here it is. We're in the key of C right here. And if I played another guitar part, I really don't want to play the same chords, right? It's going to sound much the same. So here's a little trick that I do, and I just take a chart, and hi Millie, I'm going to grab a screenshot. I'm going to show you guys how to use Preview to mark up a chart. So I could go into Pages or Microsoft Word and create this whole thing and all this kind of stuff, but I find it easier to do this. I hit Command-Shift-4, and you'll notice my cursor turns into this crosshair. Many of you may or may not know how to create a screenshot. So I'm just going to make a box around the part of the song that I want to see. And there it is. Boom. You'll hear a little click, like a picture, like a photo frame clicking. And then on my desktop right here, you'll see, well, maybe you don't see it because, let me hide this. Over here is the screenshot. It puts it on your desktop. And when you double click on it, it opens up in the Mac program preview. I'm assuming most people are on Macs. And all right, so there's my chart. I'm going to get rid of this guy, move this on my other screen over here. All right, so here's my chart. So if I want to play this in another key, and I'm thinking, what's another easy key? So I know that if I put a capo on my 5th fret and I play it in the key of G, that's going to be the same thing as playing it in the key of C. Because if you think about it, you know how you play an E, right? And then you play an F bar chord. And then if you go F, F sharp, G on the 3rd fret, and then G, G sharp, A on the 5th fret, and then A on the 5th fret, A sharp or B flat, and then C on the 9th fret. So I hope this is not confusing. Put a capo on your 5th fret, and we're going to put this in the key of D. So I don't want to get rid of the key of C because I'm going to be playing the piano parts to that, but I want to see the key of D on here as well. So I'm going to use, in Preview, I use this all the time, this markup. So you'll notice right here, I press this little box, and there it is. And now I click on this little T, and you'll notice here is a text box. It's kind of hard to see. All right. And so I know over here, I'm going to drag this up here. If I play a G, and so what's the next chord? C to a G is a 5th. But if you don't know that, if you start on G anywhere, here's a G, here's a G, so G to, so C to G is, I'm going to start at C. I'm not going to count C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know it's 7 notes to get to the next, get from a C to a G. So that's what we want to do every single time. So if my first chord is G, my next one is, on the original chart is G, I'm going to count 7 from that G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my second chord is D. So, and I'm just going to do this quickly, but that's how you figure it out. So there, what I did was I held the Option key. Remember how we use the Option key in Pro Tools to drag? If you hold the Option key and you drag anything in Pro Tools, it makes a copy of it. It works this, like I said, in Photoshop and obviously right here on this. So instead of hitting this text key and doing all that stuff, I go G, D, and I want to make that D another chord. I'm going to hold the Option key and drag, and now I'm going to edit that. I know that this is an E minor, and then I know I'm going to Option drag this. I know that this is a C. I know any C's are G's, so I can actually take that G and drag it. And now I've got this G. I know all G's are D's, and I know all F's are C's. So now I've got my intro written in the key of G. So when I put my capo on the 5th fret and I play this song in the key of G, it's going to be at a different register. I'm going to have a different sound. So all the guitars are, or both guitars, are not going to sound similar. It's something that I do, and this is just a little trick using preview. So I'm going to go around through this chart here, and I'm just going to drag, option drag all of these chords. Here I go. Okay. All right. And pretty much technically this is the same thing. I wish I could drag all of these right here. I don't think I really can. I think if I'm holding the shift key, and I've got all these guys, and now I'm going to hold option, and I'm going to pray yes. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to just move it here, and then I can individually move these things. So I'm going to move this G closer, this D closer. So you can see how you can do things in a group. And boom. And it's not going to be perfect by any means, but it's good enough. I'm going to make this a little bigger. And I know this is E minor. And this is going to be an E minor over a D. So I'm going to option drag that, and I'm going to edit this one. It's an E minor with the D in the bass. All right, now let's finish this chart. Bam, bam, last one, bam, boom, and boom. Okay, so now I've used preview to create a chord chart, so when I'm playing in a different key, I can just play it in that key without even thinking about it. I hope this was somewhat helpful. This is just something that I do when I want to play a song and I want it to sound a little different. I'll figure out what it is in a different key that I can play and recreate the chart using preview and using markup on preview to do it. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to do a save as. I'm going to do a rename, and I'm going to call this Let It Be Chart. I can't spell it, and I'm going to put it in my folder with this song. I'm going to move this into the folder with the song, which is on my internal 2 terabyte move, and now I have it on the same drive as the song. So it's just really important that when you're doing this stuff, you don't leave stuff on the desktop. We've already had this lecture. Make sure you name it. Make sure you put it on the same drive as all the other stuff, that you know where you're putting stuff. And now we're ready to use Waves Guitar 3 and create a second guitar part. I'll be back.